Okay guys, today I've got a Corsair AX860i power supply that I'm going to unbox. This actually came from BestBuy.com for reasons I don't care to explain. But we got it from BestBuy.com because that's just one of the places that had it. And it was rattling around quite a bit, so I don't think it was packaged too well in here. Yeah, see, I'm going to look at my display. I'm sure you can see that this is not padded in here too well, which I'm kind of disappointed in from Best Buy. They put this as protection to fill all this space. So of course it's been thrown around in this box a little bit, which kind of sucks, but luckily Corsair's actual packaging right here is rather durable. And so, I'm sure the power supply is just fine inside. We're just going to cut the plastic a little bit. And then rip it the rest of the way open. Toss that off to the side. And center this in the frame. I guess I'll just sit down next to it. And here we've got the AX860i. It's Corsair Link integrated, as if you're looking at the power supply, you probably know that. It's 80 plus platinum rated, which is basically the best efficiency you can get right now. They'll probably be better later on, but for the time being, it's the newest, greatest technology. I already have the AX1200i, and that's for a separate computer. This is for a different computer than that one, and this computer needs a little less than this much wattage, so I decided I wanted this power supply. And so I got this power supply. Anyways, we slide this out. I didn't even mention, but the inside of this sleeve is red inside, which is actually nice, and I'm sure that's not cheap packaging for Corsair either. You know, that can't be cheap for them to do, so it's kind of nice to see the attention to detail that they put into the products. There's also a little seal here from the factory that I cut. And we'll open this up. It opens from the side. And as we can see, once again, the cardboard is black on both sides, which I'm sure is not cheap for Corsair to do, so it's nice that they put all that attention to detail into their packaging. Here you've got your manual, which as you can see in this lineup, they have the 1200i, 860i, and 760i. So those are the three Link integrated power supplies you can get. You've got your little warranty booklet here that will tell you how long the warranty is depending on where you live or what the warranty conditions are and just stuff like that. And this little sheet that tells you where to download the Corsair Link software. I'm sure that's not going to focus too great, but anyways, it tells you where to download the software for your Corsair Link. So over here, we've got a bag. Nice cloth bag with all your cables inside, which we'll actually go over later because I'm going to sort those out and we'll go over all of the cables that you get with all the different connections and how many of each cable you get. Down here there's also a little baggie. I see you get zip ties, the screws for mounting the power supply, and a Corsair badge, as well as there's a little piece of adhesive in here, and that's to mount down the Corsair Link USB adapter if you're using it. And once again, you get the little case badge to show that you're using Corsair stuff if you want to put that on your case. We'll lift off this one piece of styrofoam, and inside we've got the power supply in a bag. I'm going to put the foam back. But here's the power supply in a bag. This fabric's not really soft, but it is nice looking. And once again, that's just their attention to detail, how much effort they put into these products. So we'll open this bag up all the way. Pull the power supply out. And the power supply's in a bag. So Corsair really does not want any of their products to get damaged, obviously. So we'll rip open this bag. Inside, here's the power supply. There's actually a sticker over the hub of the fan. We'll peel that right off. There's the fan. This is a normal ATX form factor power supply, I do believe. I think it's 160 millimeters long and then standard ATX size. So if your case will fit an ATX power supply, then this will fit no problem. And no matter what way you install this in your case, whether it be that way or fan up, the badge is facing the right way for you to read. So that's nice. On this back side here, we've got AX860i. I guess I'll zoom in a little bit and move here, somewhere right there. Okay. So you've got the AX860i badge right there. Power switch, power plug, and then just ventilation. On the other side here, wrong way, we've got the connection port, which is for Corsair Link, so you can use it with the software if you want to. Your 24-pin ATX goes there. Your PCI and CPU supplemental powers would all plug in right here. Things like SATA and Molex and just every other random power connector would plug in right here. I think it's really only SATA and Molex. And then here's a little self-test. I'm not exactly sure what it does. But basically, if you press it and the light turns green, then the power supply is okay. And if it doesn't, then there's probably something wrong. There's this little specs sheet right here that just tells you all about the power supply. I suppose I can bring it in real close, real quick here, and let it focus. And you guys can read the specs of the power supply. But one thing I kind of don't like about this, honestly, is how they had to put the extra 10 watts into the name. Like, it just seems a little bit cheesy that they had to call it the 860i, because they could have called it the 850i, but I mean, in the end, that's no huge deal, and if I really, really cared, I could Photoshop the label and, you know, print it out and glue it over and have it say 850i if I really wanted it to. But that's not going to matter because you're not even going to see the power supply in my build. But that's the power supply. I almost did my outro there, but I forgot we didn't even cover the cables. So we're going to take all these cables and I'm going to sort them out into their different categories, and I will be right back with an explanation of what all the cables are. Due to some delays, it is now a month later, but I did lay out the cables today just because I had some spare time today, and we're just going to go over them. So this one right here is the AC power adapter. This one is obviously for the US. If you buy this in another country, you'll probably get the one for your country, but it's just the wall adapter. It is a really thick cable, probably excessive for this wattage of power supply, but it is nice to see that they, you know, put the detail into sending you really thick, high quality cables. I'm looking real quick. Yep, you can maybe see right there. Yeah, it's 14 gauge wire, which is enough to supply 15 amps of power safely. Like, that's not even like the maximum, that's just the safe rating for it. So this thing is more than adequate for that power supply. We've got the modular 24-pin. Here is the actual 24 pins right here. I don't know why, but there's one missing there, and I think that's on all Corsair power supplies. There's like always one missing right there. And then on the other end, it's split off into two connectors, but I do think they are side by side on the power supply end. But it is kind of weird that it's split up like that. Next, we've got our two 8-pin CPU powers. So again, you get two of these. They're both the same, so we'll lay that one down. But basically, all you've got is this end goes into the power supply. It's just 8 pins. And then on this end, we've got this. So you just pull this apart, and then you've got a 4-pin if you need a 4-pin power and not all 8. So you've got two of these, so you could have a 4-pin, a single 8-pin, an 8 plus a 4, or all the way up to two 8-pin powers for your CPU. Both of which are splittable. You've got two of this type of PCI power. This takes in the single connection from the power supply. For some reason, once again, there is one pin missing. This is the power supply end. And then on the way out, it comes into... Okay, once again, we've got two of these cables, so I'll just lay that other one down. And I'm going to unwrap this, I guess, to show you, even though I'm not going to use this in my build. But you plug this in, and this goes to your power supply, and it's like a bridged one, where you've got two connectors that can plug into a graphics card. And both of these connectors are 6+2, so you can either do 6-pin or full 8-pin, or you could do, you know, one of each, or dual 8s for your graphics card. and you get 2 of these dual cables if you wanted to use those. I personally don't like the look of those because I think the bridge looks a little weird. So what I would be using is something more like this. This is just a standard single 8-pin. Again, you get 2 of these as well, so I'll lay that down. Again, it's got the 8 pins that go to the power supply. One is missing for some reason. And then it goes to a single 6+2 pin, so you can either use 6 or 8 pins on your graphics card. I just like the way these look because there's no bridge in the middle, but it depends on who you are and what you're into. Over here, these are just 2 Molex to floppy powers. Now, I doubt these are really sent for floppy power, but some things such as fan controllers and also the Asus Rampage 4 Extreme, as well as probably other motherboards, use these as extra power to things like RAM or graphics card lanes. So these might be needed. Down in this corner, we've got 3 of these, so all 3 of these are the same. And what this is, plugs into the power supply through a 6-pin connector, missing 1 pin right there. And it's just 4 SATA power connectors. They are all right angle connectors. Even the last one in the chain is a right angle. So you have 3 of these different cables, each with 4 right angle SATA connectors on there. Next, there are 2 of these, which is again, it connects to the power supply with a 6-pin. This one appears to be missing 2 pins. And these are Molex, and these are all straight ends. So you'll have to bend the wire if you have, you know, multiple things. But so yeah, this says 4 Molex apiece. There's 2 of those. And then last, over here, this is the Corsair Link integrated part. Now, this end will plug into your power supply. 4 little pins right there, and those are going to be for the data from the power supply to the Corsair Link. And on the other end, there's this super tiny, there's my thumbnail. So it's a super tiny little connector that can either clip into the Corsair Link Commander module, or this included Corsair Link thing right here, which you would just plug it right in there. So you just kind of got to push it on in there. But I clipped that in, and there's an LED right here. What this does is it goes to a standard USB 2.0 motherboard header. So if you don't have the full Corsair Link kit, then you can just use this with the USB. So, depends on your situation. You might or might not need this. But that's the overview of the cables, and I think this video is pretty much done. So I'm going to get the power supply out once again so you guys can have one last look at the actual power supply before the video is over. So here's the actual power supply unit, AX860i. It's a very nice power supply. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button and leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of the video. If you want to see more of my videos, please click the subscribe button that is somewhere down this way. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.